Young and Restless early spoilers September 8th to 12th. Audra's unhinged meltdown and Victor's ruthless warpath intensify. As we always do on early edition day, we talk about what's coming the rest of this week, and then we're going to dive into next week. Young and the Restless spoilers. Audra's unhinged behavior and Kyle's desperate plan for Claire. On Wednesday, September 3rd, Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, and Audra are out jogging and run into each other, taunting each other and flinging insults. She's also insulting Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, and Kyle Michael Mueller, says, "Keep her name out of your mouth." Audra claims Kyle is mad because he is hot for her, and he retorts that Audra is the one who wants him. We all know where arguing leads on soap operas. I think these two are going to be back in bed way too soon, but we'll see. Kyle mocks Audra, saying she's lost everything. Meanwhile, Kyle says Victor has changed his mind and is now on his and Claire's side, but Audra thinks he's lying. I also think Victor's lying. Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and Kyle talk about his Audra showdown once his son is back at the Abbott mansion. Kyle is worried because Claire walked out on the proposal and has not been in touch. He really doesn't want to leave Claire alone and be patient because he's scared he's going to lose her. Kyle says if he can make Audra leave town, then Claire will see how dedicated he is. This is his next grand gesture. Sally Spectra's success and Billy Abbott's romantic gesture. Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, talks to Jack on the phone and says Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, is killing it with AbbottCom and the 50s-themed launch is going to be amazing. They end the call as Sally comes in and tells Billy she's excited but nervous. He shows her a newspaper mock-up, a fake newspaper he had made that talks about how successful Sally is. It also includes news on the society page that Billy adores Sally and wants her to move in with him. Now, she's not sure about this, but Billy is. He even tells Sally he had the newspaper printed up a couple of weeks ago, well before asking her to move in. She's also worried about how Billy's kids will feel about it, but he says they like her. Sally is also worried about working and living together, but Billy says that's going to be fine. So, she finally agrees to move in. Young and the Restless spoilers. Claire's drunken confession, Audra and Victor's plot exposed. Claire is with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, at the GCAC bar. They're doing their usual drink of Vespers, but then Claire wants shots. She wants to get drunk. She wants to cut loose. When Holden is like, "Slow down," she's like, "Don't babysit me." So he knows something's wrong and asks Claire about it. She tells him about Audra and Victor's dirty plot against her and Kyle. Holden warns Claire that Audra is trouble. Claire asks about his and Audra's time in LA. She thinks Audra is going to pull more stunts, but Holden says, "Just let karma finish her off." Claire tells Holden that he really doesn't know what she is capable of either, and that is true because she has a very dark past herself. Audra walks up on them talking at the bar, and pounces like she's ready to dig in her claws. Nikki and Victor's romantic interlude and Claire's confrontation with Audra. On Thursday, September 4th, we have Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, giving Victor Night of Romance to show him how much she loves him since he's the one who's always doing special things for her. Meanwhile, Claire goes off on Audra at the GCAC bar. Claire's a little tipsy already, and she's got some things to say to that woman. I do wonder if Audra is going to add some details to the situation of what happened in France that Kyle left out, like the fact that he was on the bed with Audra and on top of her, and mostly undressed with just a towel on. Audra did say if Claire knew everything, she might not forgive him, so she may tell everything. Michael Baldwin's career crossroads. New opportunities on Young and the Restless. Michael Baldwin, Christian Jules LeBlanc, gets an interesting offer on Thursday, and I wonder if it is to work for the Winters Company, or maybe Lauren Fenmore, Tracy Bregman, wants him to work at Fenmore's, or maybe it's something a little more minor like officiating Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, and Christine Williams, Laura Lee Bell, upcoming wedding, which is supposed to be in October on Young and the Restless. Young and the Restless spoilers. Genoa City turmoil, Victor's war, Lily's quest, and Phyllis's folly. On Friday, September 5th, Victor tells the family, "We are going to war." Now, if he announces that they are going to take down Jabot, we know that Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, is willing to do that, but I'm not so sure that Nikki and Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, will be on board. I doubt Claire will be unless she finds out Kyle was on top of Audra in that towel. But then again, maybe not, because she still likes Jack and Diane Jenkins, Susan Walters. Also, Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, tries to get the truth out of Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn. Lily really wants to know his agenda. I wonder if she figures out something is going on at Winters. And she may suspect him of having a hand in, because that is his next target. Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, goes too far and may once again mess things up for herself. She will not accept that Kane is backing down and she doesn't have a job there, and she was grilling Amanda Sinclair, Miss Hale Morgan. But thankfully, she didn't give her a lot to go on. Kyle's desperate plan to oust Audra. YandR Weekly Spoilers. The week of September 8th through the 12th, Jack and Diane fear the worst for their son. Kyle is determined to prove himself to Claire by running Audra out of town. Kyle has zero chill and zero patience, and isn't going to give Claire any space because he thinks if she has space, she's going to have second thoughts and will break up with him. This has Diane and Jack very worried because they don't like when Kyle is plotting, as he has a tendency to go dark. Audra and Claire's big argument could result in more tea being spilled, maybe some blood, because Claire really wanted to slap Audra's face. I'm sure Holden is going to be stuck in the middle, trying to keep them away from attacking each other physically. Also, in the matter of Audra and Holden, he's got that info about what went down with Tucker McCall, Trevor St. John, and Audra in LA, that situation that Holden helped her out of. I'm wondering if he's going to spill those beans to help Claire take down Audra. I think it's all going to depend if she's saying nasty things to Holden during her fight with Audra. Then the gloves may come off. Kane's AI scheme and Tamara Braun's mysterious new character on Young and the Restless. Michael gives an answer to the proposition that was presented to him. If you remember, Victor told Kane that he was going to release the info that Colin Atkinson, Tristan Rogers, had conned this woman and that she gave all her inheritance to him. Now, what Victor has is the will that shows that Colin inherited. That doesn't necessarily prove that Colin was running a scam. Plus, Colin's been dead for more than 6 months now. I don't think Kane's dad, who has been dead for a while, is going to be that big of a scandal that he inherited money from some woman. I mean, it kind of seems like the scandal would have died with him, and that was only seed money. You know, they made the rest of the money. Again, we'll see because Victor is continuing to pressure him. But Kane doesn't want to play ball. And the Restless are in for a roller coaster as early spoilers for the upcoming episodes promise explosive drama, shocking confrontations, and emotional chaos in Genoa City. 2 storylines in particular are capturing the attention of viewers: Audra's unhinged meltdown and Victor Newman's ruthless warpath. Both arcs are set to collide in a way that will leave the characters and fans reeling. Audra on the edge, from calculated moves to complete chaos. Audra has always been a character whose ambition and cunning have driven her actions, but recent spoilers hint that her carefully constructed facade is starting to crumble. Viewers have seen her maneuvering behind the scenes, playing subtle games that pit one Newman family member against another, yet the latest developments suggest she's teetering on the edge of a full-blown meltdown. According to early reports, Audra will be confronted with unexpected betrayals and complications that push her past her breaking point. A long-standing alliance may shatter, leaving her isolated and spiraling into unpredictable behavior. There's already buzz that her outbursts will not be confined to private settings. Audra could lash out publicly, making shocking accusations and revealing secrets that put her at odds with several major players in Genoa City. What makes this situation even more gripping is Audra's unpredictability. She's someone viewers have watched carefully, knowing she's always calculating. But when her control slips, the fallout can be catastrophic. Audra's emotional unraveling will force her to make reckless decisions, threatening relationships she has carefully nurtured and alliances she has meticulously built. In classic YandR fashion, what starts as personal frustration is likely to spark a chain reaction that entangles multiple characters in chaos. Victor Newman's ruthless warpath. No one is safe. While Audra teeters on the edge, Victor Newman is entering one of the most ruthless phases of his warpath yet. The patriarch of the Newman Empire has faced countless threats, both personal and professional, but spoilers suggest that his patience is wearing thin. Victor's moves are calculated, precise, and utterly merciless, leaving no room for compromise. Early reports hint that Victor will escalate his battles, targeting those he sees as disloyal or obstructive with an intensity that could redefine power dynamics in Genoa City. His warpath isn't just about business, it's deeply personal. Victor is known for settling scores, and his latest maneuvers may strike at the very heart of those closest to him. Fans can expect to see Victor using both his influence and his willingness to bend rules to maintain control. These are classic Newman tactics: intimidate, manipulate, and dominate. And when Victor sets his sights on someone, it's rarely easy for them to escape unscathed. With Audra's meltdown brewing simultaneously, the intersection of these 2 arcs promises fireworks. Could Victor exploit Audra's instability for his own advantage? Or will her chaotic behavior threaten his carefully laid plans? Collision course: chaos in Genoa City. The most gripping aspect of this early preview is the potential clash between Audra and Victor. Both are formidable in their own ways. Audra with her cunning and ambition, Victor with his ruthless power and legacy-driven determination. When a character as volatile as Audra begins to unravel, and someone as unstoppable as Victor is in full war mode, the results are bound to be explosive. Speculation among fans points to confrontations that could occur both publicly and privately. In one possible scenario, Audra's meltdown might lead to a public revelation that shakes the Newman Empire to its core, forcing Victor to respond in ways that showcase both his strategic genius and his willingness to crush threats without mercy. Alternatively, Victor could use Audra's instability as leverage, manipulating her into making mistakes that ultimately benefit him while leaving her even more vulnerable. Either way, the tension is palpable. The Young and the Restless thrives on high-stakes drama, and the intertwining of these two storylines promises some of the most intense episodes in recent memory. Audra's emotional volatility paired with Victor's calculated ruthlessness creates a dynamic that could redefine relationships, power structures, and loyalties in Genoa City. Ripple effects: family, romance, and revenge. Audra and Victor's storylines will inevitably ripple outward, impacting other major players in the show. For instance, family dynamics are likely to be tested. Newman family members could be forced to choose sides, and existing alliances may fracture under pressure. Audra's meltdown could unintentionally expose secrets or betrayals that put others in compromising positions, while Victor's warpath may leave collateral damage in its wake, affecting business, personal relationships, and long-standing rivalries. Romantic entanglements are also at risk. Characters who are romantically involved with either Audra or Victor, or those caught in their crossfire, may find themselves in situations where loyalty and trust are tested. The tension could lead to heartbreak, shocking revelations, and alliances being broken or reforged under new terms. In a show like YandR, love and loyalty are often intertwined with power and revenge, making these developments even more compelling. Moreover, revenge plots are likely to intensify as both Audra and Victor's actions provoke responses from those they've antagonized. The cycle of retaliation is a hallmark of The Young and the Restless, and fans can expect the fallout from these storylines to reverberate for weeks. What fans can expect next? As early spoilers tease these explosive arcs, fans should brace for shocking confrontations, emotional outbursts, and calculated maneuvers. Audra's unhinged meltdown will be a spectacle of drama, showing a character pushed to her emotional limits. Meanwhile, Victor's ruthless warpath will demonstrate the sheer force of a man who will stop at nothing to maintain his empire and protect his legacy. The collision of these storylines creates a perfect storm of intrigue, suspense, and emotional intensity. Viewers can anticipate twists that challenge assumptions, test allegiances, and ignite new conflicts. Whether it's explosive dialogue, shocking betrayals, or unexpected alliances, the combination of Audra's chaos and Victor's calculated aggression ensures Genoa City will never be the same. For loyal fans of The Young and the Restless, these developments are not to be missed. The drama surrounding Audra and Victor promises to deliver exactly what the show does best: high-stakes storytelling, complex character dynamics, and moments that leave viewers talking long after the episode ends. Conclusion: Genoa City's storm is brewing. Audra's descent into chaos and Victor's relentless pursuit of dominance are set to define the upcoming episodes. Both storylines promise to intertwine, creating an unpredictable narrative that could reshape the landscape of The Young and the Restless. With personal vendettas, professional power struggles, and emotional upheaval all coming to the forefront, viewers are in for a gripping, suspense-filled ride. As Genoa City braces for the fallout, the big question remains: will Audra's meltdown lead to her downfall, or will she channel her volatility into a new, dangerous form of power? And how far will Victor go to secure his empire and assert his dominance? One thing is certain: the next few episodes promise unrelenting drama. The calm is always just the eye of a storm. And right now, that storm centers on Audra and Kyle, two characters whose lives are spiraling in ways that threaten to shake the foundations of Newman Enterprises, Newman family secrets, and most importantly, Claire's fragile world. The tension is palpable, the stakes are sky-high, and fans are already buzzing about the explosive fallout that's sure to redefine relationships in the coming weeks. Audra has always been portrayed as a passionate, sometimes unpredictable figure, but recent developments show a side of her no one saw coming. a darker, more unhinged version, willing to cross lines that even the most cunning Genoa City residents wouldn't dare. It all began with her obsession over control. Audra's fixation on loyalty, power, and influence is nothing new, but recent events have pushed her to the brink. Her escalating paranoia is making her reckless. Friends have noticed her late-night calls, her increasingly erratic behavior at business meetings, and most disturbingly, her subtle but calculated sabotage of anyone who dares stand in her way. What has triggered this particular frenzy? The answer lies in her perception of betrayal. Audra feels cornered, particularly by Kyle, whose growing attachment to Claire has become a thorn in Audra's side. Audra cannot tolerate anyone challenging her dominance, especially when it involves Claire, whom she sees as both a pawn and a threat. Her unhinged behavior is multifaceted. There's the public aggression, the whispered threats, and the behind-the-scenes manipulations that leave even the most experienced Genoa City players questioning her motives. Audra's latest moves are bold and dangerous. She's been spotted orchestrating scenarios that put Claire in compromising positions, testing Kyle's patience and resolve. Her methods are subtle but effective. Whispered rumors, planted documents, and emotionally charged confrontations designed to destabilize Kyle and Claire simultaneously. Audra thrives on chaos, and watching Kyle struggle only fuels her manic energy. Kyle, however, is no stranger to high-stakes drama. Known for his strategic mind and quiet determination, he finds himself cornered by Audra's unpredictability. Unlike Audra, Kyle doesn't thrive on chaos. He thrives on planning and protecting those he loves. But protecting Claire has never been simple, and now it's become a mission fraught with danger, secrecy, and moral compromise. Kyle realizes that if he missteps, he could lose Claire not just to Audra's manipulations, but to the harsh realities of Genoa City itself. His plan, desperate but calculated, begins with intelligence gathering. Kyle is leaving no stone unturned, monitoring Audra's communications, retracing her recent actions, and identifying her network of allies. He knows that Audra is unpredictable, and any misjudgment could escalate into disaster. What makes Kyle's predicament even more harrowing is that Claire herself is caught in the crossfire. Her trust in Kyle is unwavering, but Audra's psychological tactics are designed to erode that trust, creating cracks that could fracture even the strongest bond. The heart of Kyle's strategy revolves around timing, misdirection, and protective intervention. He's secretly enlisting allies, old friends, business contacts, and even unlikely foes, to create a safety net around Claire. Every step is deliberate, every interaction carefully orchestrated. Kyle understands that Audra thrives on fear and uncertainty, and the only way to counteract her is through a combination of calculated action and emotional stability. Kyle's desperation is mirrored by the emotional intensity of his interactions with Claire. He finds himself alternating between strategic detachment and raw, emotional vulnerability. In private moments, he warns Claire about Audra's manipulations, urging her to stay vigilant. But he also struggles with the guilt of keeping secrets. The very lies he tells to shield her from Audra's wrath could ultimately undermine their trust if discovered. This internal conflict drives Kyle to the edge, revealing the human cost of protecting someone from forces far beyond ordinary comprehension. Meanwhile, Audra's escalation shows no signs of slowing. She's increasingly bold, daring to confront Kyle directly, testing his patience and challenging his resolve. The tension between the two is electric, a dance of psychological warfare that threatens to engulf everyone around them. Audra's behavior has become so erratic that colleagues, friends, and even family are starting to take notice. The once confident and composed Audra now teeters on the brink of a full-blown meltdown, her need for control overriding reason and decency. What makes this storyline especially gripping is the interplay of personal and professional stakes. Audra's schemes aren't limited to emotional manipulation. She's also leveraging business influence to destabilize Kyle's position, threatening to ruin reputations and careers. Kyle, in turn, must balance his personal mission of protecting Claire with the professional challenges posed by Audra's maneuvers. Every confrontation, every calculated move, is charged with both immediate risk and long-term consequence. The emotional impact on Claire cannot be overstated. As the center of this storm, she is forced to navigate the treacherous waters of manipulation, loyalty, and love. She must decide who to trust, when to act, and how to protect herself without alienating the people who care for her. Her relationship with Kyle is tested like never before, revealing vulnerabilities and strengths that will shape both their futures. Claire's journey in this storyline is a compelling study in resilience, intelligence, and emotional endurance, showcasing her as more than just a passive player caught between power struggles. Fans of The Young and the Restless are already speculating on the fallout. Will Audra's unhinged behavior ultimately lead to her undoing? Can Kyle maintain his careful balance, protecting Claire without compromising his own integrity? The storyline promises high tension, shocking revelations, and dramatic confrontations that will ripple across Genoa City, affecting relationships, business alliances, and family dynamics alike. As the days progress, viewers can expect explosive showdowns, secret alliances, and the kind of unexpected twists that have become a hallmark of The Young and the Restless. Audra's descent into instability is both frightening and fascinating, a character study in obsession and the corrupting influence of unchecked ambition. Kyle's desperate plan, on the other hand, highlights courage, ingenuity, and the lengths one will go to protect the people they love, even when the odds are stacked against them. In the coming episodes, nothing will be predictable. Alliances will shift, secrets will surface, and the battle between Audra's chaos and Kyle's determination will reach a fever pitch. For Claire, the outcome is uncertain, her fate hanging in the balance as she navigates the treacherous terrain laid out by two of Genoa City's most compelling players. Audra's unhinged behavior is a ticking time bomb, and Kyle's desperate plan is the only thing standing between order and total chaos. This storyline isn't just about power or revenge. It's about the human heart under pressure, tested loyalty, and the complex interplay between love and duty. As Audra pushes limits and Kyle struggles to contain the fallout, viewers are treated to a gripping saga of suspense. Spectra has always been a force of nature in Genoa City. From the moment she stepped into the cutthroat world of fashion, her presence was impossible to ignore. Today, however, her brilliance is shining brighter than ever. Her latest collection, Luminous Nights, has not only taken the fashion world by storm, but has also firmly cemented her status as one of the city's most formidable designers. Every gown, every cut, every delicate stitch seems to tell a story, not just of style but of Sally's resilience, her creativity, and her relentless pursuit of success. Sally's office at Spectra Fashions is buzzing with energy. Models are rehearsing the walk for the upcoming gala, seamstresses are putting finishing touches on sparkling evening dresses, and Sally herself is at the center of it all, exuding an air of calm confidence. Her fingers glide over fabric samples, her sharp eyes catching every detail that might otherwise go unnoticed. There is a magnetic energy about her, a combination of charm, intelligence, and an indomitable spirit that draws people toward her. For Sally, success has never been handed on a silver platter. She's fought hard to reclaim her family's legacy, navigating the challenges of an industry dominated by giants like Jabot and Newman Enterprises. But Sally is not just surviving, she's thriving. The accolades are pouring in. A glowing review in Genoa City Times, a feature in Fashion Forward magazine, and whispers of international recognition. More importantly, she's doing it on her own terms. Sally's journey is a testament to the fact that talent paired with perseverance is unstoppable. Amid the whirlwind of success, there's one figure whose presence has added a surprising layer of sweetness to Sally's life, Billy Abbott. Billy, known for his charm, impulsive decisions, and sometimes chaotic love life, has always admired Sally. Not just for her beauty, but for the strength and passion she brings to everything she does. Today, he's planning something that might just knock Sally off her fashionable heels. Billy has always had a flair for the dramatic, but his gestures come from a sincere place. Over the past few months, he's watched Sally pour her heart into her work, often neglecting her own well-being. Seeing her triumphs brings him joy, but he wants to do more than just celebrate from the sidelines. He wants to show Sally that her achievements are not only admired but cherished, and that she deserves a little indulgence in the midst of her busy life. The evening of Sally's big gala arrives, and the air is thick with anticipation. Guests from the world of fashion, media, and high society mingle under glittering chandeliers. Sally, radiant in a gown of shimmering gold, commands attention as she navigates the room with poise. She's gracious, charming, and undeniably powerful. A woman who has carved out her own kingdom in a world that often underestimates her. Meanwhile, Billy has orchestrated a surprise that he hopes will match Sally's own larger-than-life presence. As Sally moves to greet a group of journalists, Billy slips quietly behind the stage where a grand floral installation has been prepared, a cascade of roses, orchids, and lilies that spells out to Sally with admiration. At the center of the display is a delicate jewelry box, its contents shimmering under the soft light. Sally, drawn by the unexpected sight, pauses mid-step. Her eyes widen in surprise as she takes in the breathtaking arrangement. Billy steps forward, a nervous but genuine smile on his face. "Sally," he says, his voice steady but full of emotion, "you've worked so hard for this moment. I wanted to do something that shows how proud I am of you, and how much I care." The moment hangs in the air, heavy with unspoken feelings. Sally, usually so composed and self-assured, feels her heart skip a beat. Billy's gesture is not just romantic, it's a recognition of her journey, her struggles, and her triumphs. She's seen gestures before, flashy, fleeting, and often insincere, but this one is different. It's thoughtful, personal, and unmistakably Billy. As she opens the jewelry box, a delicate necklace glimmers back at her, perfectly complementing her golden gown. It's a piece that speaks of elegance without ostentation, just like Sally herself. She looks up at Billy, a mixture of surprise, gratitude, and something more unspoken reflecting in her eyes. "Billy, this is incredible," she whispers, almost unable to find the words. Billy reaches out, taking her hand gently. "You deserve this and so much more," he says. "Every success, every triumph, every sleepless night, you've earned it. And I just want to make sure you know how special you are, not just to the world but to me." For Sally, the words are as impactful as the gesture itself. She's used to being recognized for her talent, but rarely has someone celebrated her as a whole person. The dreams, the challenges, the heart that drives her. In that moment, she realizes that Billy's affection isn't just about romance. It's about partnership, respect, and shared admiration. As the gala continues around them, Sally and Billy share a quiet, intimate moment amidst the glittering chaos. Sally feels a warmth she hasn't allowed herself to feel in a long time. A combination of pride in her accomplishments and the joy of being truly seen by someone she cares about. For Billy, it's a moment of quiet triumph as well, a chance to express something genuine in a world often dominated by superficial gestures. Later that night, as the gala winds down and the crowd begins to thin, Sally finds herself reflecting on the path that led her here. She's faced betrayals, setbacks, and countless obstacles, but each one has shaped her into the formidable woman she has become. And now, with Billy by her side in this heartfelt, unassuming display of admiration, she feels a renewed sense of possibility, not just in her career, but in matters of the heart. Billy, watching her reaction, feels a quiet sense of satisfaction. He knows that the path to Sally's heart is not about grandiose promises or flashy displays. It's about authenticity, support, and recognizing the brilliance of the woman she already is. And tonight, he's done just that.